Okay, so today we are looking at November 2022 Maths Paper 1. So on question 1.1.1, we are required to solve for x and we are given 3x minus a 6 and x plus a 2 equals to a 0. Then we apply a zero product. Therefore, we'll have 3x minus a 6 equals to a 0, or x plus a 2 equals to a 0. Therefore, we say x is equals to a 2 and x equals to a negative 2. Then we go to the second question. They said correct to 2 decimal places. When you see that, you know that you should use a quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula is given as x equals to a negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Then you just substitute. Your b is negative. Negative to negative, it gives you positive. So we have 6, positive 6 plus minus a square root of 6 squared minus 4. Your a is a 2. Your c is a 1. All over 2 of your a, which is 2. Therefore, x will be equals to 2,82, or x equals to 0,18. That's it. So you get your 3 marks. Okay? So let's move to 1.1.3. On 1.1.3, we are dealing with inequalities. So it's 1.1.3. We are given x squared minus 90 greater than x. You take x to the other side. We have x squared minus x minus a 90 greater than a 0. Then from there, we can use CVS. We're looking for the critical values. So you can now allow to use the equal sign. We have x squared minus x minus 90 equals to a 0. Then from there, you can factorize. If we factorize that, you're going to have x, your x plus a 9 and x minus a 10 equals to a 0. Therefore, x will be equals to negative 9, or x equals to positive 10. Then from there, you go to your table. The table is always like this. You go to your table. Remember, your table is plus, plus, minus. The lesser value, you put it on your left-hand side. The greater value, you put it on your right-hand side. My lesser value is a negative 9. My greater value is a positive 10. So we go back to the question on this part. We have x squared minus x minus 90 greater than 0. To be greater than 0 means to be positive. This means that on your table, you need to follow a positive sign. Where do I get positive? We get a positive from 10 going that way. We get a positive from minus 9 going this way. When you move from 10, taking that direction, what are you becoming? Lesser or greater? We're becoming greater. So we say x must be greater than a 10, or when you move from 9, taking this direction, are we becoming greater or lesser? We are becoming lesser. So we say x must be less than a negative 9. So these are our two solutions. So we are done with question 1.3. Let's look at question 1.1.4. Okay, so let me quickly erase. So quickly erase. Okay, so on question 1.1.4, we are given x minus 7 square root of x equals to a negative 12. Then we want to get rid of the square root. So the best way, we take this square root on its own side. So we have x plus a 12 equals to a square root of x. Then we square both sides because we want to get rid of the square root. To get rid of the square root, you can just square. So what we do on the right hand side, we can also do on the left hand side. Then from there, on this side, we are going to have two brackets, x plus a 12, x plus 12. Then from there, on the other side, we are going to have 7 squared. This cancels with that, we have x. Then from there, when you say 7 squared, that will be a 49x. We multiply out this bracket. This times that, x times x is x squared. X times 12, it's plus 12x. Plus 12x. 12 multiplied by 12, that will be 144. So it's positive 144. Then from there we have x squared plus 24x. We take 49 to this side, it's minus 49x plus 144 equals to a 0. Then from there we have x squared. When you say 24 minus 49, 24 minus 49 is negative 25x plus 144 equals to a 0. Then from there, we can now factorize. We open two brackets. We say this is equals to 0. We have x and x. How do we get a 49? We use 16 and a 9. Then we have the signs must be the same, and those signs will be the sign of a middle term. So we put a negative and a negative. Therefore, x will be equals to a 16, or x will be equals to a 9. Okay, so those are our two solutions. You get your 4 marks. Okay, so let's look at the 1.2. Solve for x and y simultaneously. Solve for x and y simultaneously. So let me erase here. We are solving for x and y simultaneously. So this is what you do. You go to your equations as they are. You name this your equation 1, and you name the second equation your equation 2. Then you look at them. You choose the one that will be easier to make x or y the subject. In this case, I can choose equation 1. So on equation 1, I'll just take y to the other side. So I will have y equals to 2 of x minus a 2. That will be my equation 3. After that, you substitute equation 1 on equation 2. So we were given x times y. So our y is now 2x minus a 2 equals to a 4. Then from there, you can multiply out this times that, it's 2x squared. This to that, it's minus 2x equals to a 4. So we take 4 to this side. We have x squared minus 2x minus a 4 equals to a 0. Then from there we can now factorize. We open 2 brackets. So we will have, we can start by dividing by 2. When you divide by 2, we have x squared minus x minus a 2 equals to a 0. Then from there we can factorize. So we have x and x. So our factors, how do we get a 2? We get a 2 using 2 and 1. And we have a negative there on 2. It tells us that the signs must be different, and the sign of a bigger number will carry the sign of a middle term. So we have a negative and a positive equals to a 0. So we say, therefore, x is equals to a 2 or x is equals to a negative 1. We remember we are not looking for x only, so you can substitute those values of x on the equation 3. So we have y equals to 2 of, you put a 2 where there is x, then your answer will be a 2. So that corresponds with a 2. Again, we do the same thing. We say 2 of negative 1 and 2. So your answer will be a negative 4. So we have solutions for y and corresponding x values. That's it. You get your 5 marks. Okay. So let's look at the last question. Okay, 1.3. We are on 1.3. On our 1.3, show that 2 multiplied by 5 to the power of n minus 5 to the power of n plus 1 plus 5n to the power of 2 is even for all possible positive integers of n. So from there we go to our equation. We are given 2. Let me write it here. We are given 2 to the power 2 multiplied by 5n minus 5 of n plus 1 plus 5n plus 2. So we use the rules of exponents. We have 2 multiplied by 5 to the power of n, so we need to break this down. We need to use one base, then that base will be a 5. So we have negative 5 to the power of n multiplied by 5 to the power of 1 plus 5 to the power of n multiplied by 5 to the power of 2. Then from there, I see now I have something common, which is 5 to the power of n. When I take out 5 to the power of n, on the first family, I will be left with a 2. On the second family, I will be left with a 5. On the third family, I will be left with a 5 to the power of 2. Therefore, we have 5n. 5n, when you say 2, this is, on this side, we have a negative 3 plus 25. And that will give us, when you say negative 3 plus 25, that will give us a 22. That will give us a 22. So that's it. So we move on to 1.4. On 1.4, they say determine the value of x and y if. Determine the value of x and y if 3y plus 1 all over 32 is equals to a square root of 96x. Remember, the first thing is to get rid of the square root. The first thing is to get rid of the square root. So what we can do is that we can we need to square both sides to get rid of the square root. We need to get rid of the square root. So I square both sides. square both sides. So because that 2 is an exponent, so exponent can only multiply exponent. So we'll now have 3 to the power of 2y plus a 2 all over. We have 32 squared equals to, the square root cancels out. I'm left with 96x. Okay, so from there, now we can work it out. That x was an exponent, so let's fix that. We have 96 to the power of x. Then from there we can, let me erase there so that we can continue on that side. Then we have we had 2y, 3 to the power of 2y plus 2 all over 32 squared equals to a 96. 96 to the power of x. 96 to the power of x. 96 to the power of x. So from here we can, when you say 32 squared, what are we getting? On 32 squared, we are getting, let's see, we are getting 1024. So we have 2y plus a 2 all over 1024 equals to, when we, let's change 96 to the base. So we have 92, is my calculator here, it's acting up. So we have 96 equals to, so 96 can be broken into 2. 96 can be broken into 2 times 2 to the power of 5x multiplied by 3 to the power of x. Then from there we can now change this one as well. We have 2y plus a 2 all over 2 to the power of 10 equals to 5x multiplied by 3 of x. Then from here we want to make the bases to be the same. So in this case we have what's this? We have, we can rearrange this one. So we are going to have 2y plus a 2 multiplied by 2 to the power of negative 10. 2 to the power of negative 10. And from there we now have equals to 2 to the power of 5x multiplied by 3 to the power of x. Then from there we can now take out the similar bases. We now have 2 over there, so we can now, when bases are the same, we drop and equate the exponent. So I'm going to start with the 2. We have negative 10 equals to a 5x. Then we divide by a 5. You have your x, which is a negative 2. Then from there, let's go to 3. We have similar bases. When bases are the same, you drop and equate the exponents. So we have 2y y plus a 2 equals to an x. But remember, we got x to be a negative 2. So I replace that by negative 2. We have 2y plus a 2. Take 2 to the other side. We're going to have 2y equals to a negative 4. You divide by a 2. Therefore, y will be equals to a negative 2. So these are your solutions. Negative 2 and negative 2. So we are given